Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to the Business Brunch. My name's Melinda Ward, and I am here with our esteemed colleagues. We've got Sarah Farmer, who is our executive coach extraordinaire. We've got Vanessa Ashworth, who is not only the queen of value propositions, she has an extra position to be telling us about in a moment. And we also have Amy Burnett, who is our guest today, who is here to speak about how to have a visible impact. This is important for both your commercial brand as well as your personal brand, because it doesn't matter whether you like it or not, everybody's got a personal brand. So we might as well make it as strong as it can be. So we are here for the Business Brunch to be your home team, whether you're working from home or kind of hybrid or back in the office. We are your colleagues to trust in, collaborate with, confide in. Feel free to use the chat to let us know where you're dialing in from. A quick reminder for those who are new to the show that if you don't see all of the chat messages that we'll be bringing in your thread, it's only because we are streaming to many different platforms and you only see the chat on the platform on which you are logged in. So it's completely normal, and don't feel like you're the only one out there, because you're not. There's lots of people out there. You just can't see all of them at the same time. That's what we can do. So
Hey,
we
Ashley.
have Ashley. Good afternoon, Ashley. And he's really excited to know about personal brands. So that's excellent. Anybody else who would like to chime in, please chime in. And we will go around and talk about Vanessa's new news and our weekend activities. But I'm really excited to hear Vanessa's new news.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Business Brunch again. And please do say hello. Oh, Ashley's, sorry, I've just noticed. I'm on comment wrangling today. And Ashley just asked, how many platforms?
I think we're on 6 or 8 platforms or something.
6, 7, 8, 9 at least.
Oh, 9.
Yep. But yeah, so my news.
So just bring us your news. He said, why am I waving like you can see me? I keep waving at everybody. We can't see you. You can't see us. I think it's just nice, isn't it? Hello, Ashley.
And Danny Wareham's here as well.
Hey, Danny.
Hello, Danny. Well, thanks for
Danny.
coming back. Oh, and Zubair Ahmed is here. Good afternoon, Zubair. And thank you for joining us. So my news, yes, exciting news. So after thinking that I would never again work for another company and just interim, and I was doing really well at interiming. I was doing very well. Everything was going great. But one of my contracts, such an amazing team to work with, such a great company. I can see them doing all these wonderful things and really setting up all these fabulous things to make sure that every one of their employees is supported and developed and yeah, they're really going places. And after working with them for a few months, they invited me to join them permanently. And so it's my first day today with 2i. So yeah, really excited to join this amazing company. So yeah, obviously I shall be telling you all about it in my feed in the days and weeks ahead. So yeah, great news.
Good for you, Vanessa. Well done.
So, yeah, congratulations, really and well done. And not everybody can do both successfully, and it appears you can. So you're one of the rare breed who can run your own business successfully as well as be successful and thriving in a growth organization. Yeah. So Amy, do you want to give us a bit of a thumbnail sketch, and then we'll jump to Sarah and hear about her exciting weekend?
Of my weekends?
Yeah, and yourself in general, if you like.
What did I get up to? I went for a run. Haven't been on a run for quite a while now, so went for a run, which was really lovely. Because I'm supposed to be in training. I'm doing this event called the Wolf Run. And it's like one of these obstacle things, a bit like Tough Mudder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to be doing training, not doing the training. So this was supposed to run it for a while. It's in about 2 weeks' time. So yeah, bit sort of panic run. And then I took my daughters to see a netball match, the Saracens Mavericks netball match, because they've now developed this netball super league, I think they're calling it. And they've attached the netball clubs to rugby teams, hence the Saracens. So they've got the Saracens netball team, they've got Rhinos and Wasps and all the rugby teams. And it's great. It was brilliant because my daughter's very much into netball. So
great.
Fantastic.
It was the first for me, but it was all good fun.
Yeah. Sarah, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well. And I did say to you all just before we came on, for the first time in a long time, I'm able to say I did something at the weekend. Actually did something. I went into London town. Melinda will be proud. I went to London town, did my first escape room, and then had dinner. And that was yesterday. And that's because it's what everybody does on their 20th wedding anniversary, isn't it? Goes to an escape
I think it's a great idea.
It wasn't a Freudian thing. My husband chose it. But we did that with his best man and his fiance and my kids. Our kids. We have them together. That's what being married was like, I think. Yeah, anyway, we did that. And it was really good fun. I was rubbish at it. But I loved it, and it was just so nice to be out and doing something and not actually just working for a change. So yeah,
and the objective of those is to have fun. It's not necessarily to be the best. It's just to get stuck in.
There was no chance of that. No chance of being the best, but it was fun. What was really interesting there was watching my son, who actually I thought was quite introverted. He's getting much more extroverted as we go through life. But oh my goodness, he's so competitive. I don't know where he gets that from. He's snatching things off me, going, out of the way. I'm going to do, I'll crack the code. And it was quite incredible watching the brains firing and the non-teamwork going on. It was brilliant. But it was really good fun.
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. Mine was a little bit more quiet for once. I think we swapped weekends because I was doing the weekend haircut the annual haircut of the hydrangeas in my garden.
I was going to say, I thought you meant yours.
So if there's frost in the next few weeks, it's probably my fault, because I know technically it's a bit early to cut them, but they're growing so much I didn't want to let them go too far before I whack them all back again. So it's a dilemma, isn't it?
I know nothing about gardening. Obviously, I've been volunteering at a garden for about 5 years, bringing it back to its former glory. But we haven't got into the actual planting and plant bit yet. It's still rediscovering paths and pulling out trees and things. But my garden is shameful. So
well, you're quite busy, aren't you? Now you've got a new job and everything. Nice to see Waggy's in again. Hello, Waggy, and also Danny. That message is to you, Vanessa. I think never say never to being an employee of your suits. Grab it. Well done. Absolutely. You've got to do what's right. And if you know what you really need and want in life, when you see the opportunity, you go and grab it with both hands. But I'm glad you can still do this with us on a Monday. But I'm really looking forward to hearing what our lovely guest Amy has to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you in the audience, if you know anybody who you think would really benefit from Amy's wisdom on building a visible impact and, improving their presence in video, do tag them in on this broadcast. If they can't join immediately, they can still watch on replay. And if you are watching on replay, feel free to put #replay in the comment thread so that we can see that you've been. And also feel free to drop any questions in as we go. So it's just about time to start having our chat with Amy. So anybody else wanting to say hello? Hello, Kim. How are you? Lovely to see you. And anybody else wants to drop into the chat, feel free to drop in at any time. We'll be batching them up and bringing the questions forward in groups. So just drop them in as they come. And if we don't answer it immediately, just stay tuned and we'll come to it pretty quickly. All right. So Amy, would you like to tell us a little bit about how you got into the speciality of making a visible impact?
Yeah, sure. pretty much I've spent many years behind a camera. So I studied photography at college, and yeah, I've sort of been behind a camera ever since. I didn't go to college till I was in my sort of mid-20s. So but ever since then, yeah, been behind a camera. And about seven years ago, maybe 8 years ago now, I kind of sidestepped from photography to video for various reasons. But one just being that I'd always been intrigued by video, and my cameras that I used for photography could shoot video as well. So I started playing around and just kind of fell in love with it, really, found it incredibly exciting. So yeah. So I've
Who are the sorts of people that you do this for, Amy? What sort of people do you work with? What are they doing?
What are they doing? I work with all sorts of people, mainly SMEs, so mainly businesses, helping them, work on their either business or personal brands. So it might be a firm of solicitors, it might be a dentist, it might be, absolutely everybody. I have a huge passion for working with female-led businesses. I am very, very passionate about seeing more women leading in business, and I think visibility for any any kind of minority group. Women aren't a minority group, but in business they are, but I think just with the diversity and inclusion piece, visibility is huge. So I'm really passionate about working in that area as well, actually.
Cool. What are some of the worst things that you see, like as you're scrolling through your feeds, especially like LinkedIn and so forth? What do you see in videos where you just think, oh dear, I could really help you?
Vanessa's now hoping she doesn't say hula hooping whilst
yes,
an egg or something.
Hula hooping is doing the washing or feeding the dog or any of the other things that I've done on the show.
Well, I'm going to have to scroll back through your LinkedIn feed to see the hula hooping. But no, what makes me cringe? I mean, I have to say, I'm not a massive fan of the in the car videos. Really, especially I have seen a couple where people are driving and it's just like, really.
Yeah.
But even the stationary ones, it's like, can you not be bothered to get out of your car? There's the sort of composition thing, when people have their heads down here. They've got all this space up here. That does, I find that slightly frustrating. So yeah. But you know what? I think anybody that actually gets around to putting the time and the effort and getting over themselves and getting on video, you've got
well done then.
You have to celebrate that.
Exactly.
But just try to avoid the up the nostril shot.
What is it? Why is it so essential? I mean, we know it's out there. Everybody seems to be on video. All of our kids or the younger generation, God, I sound old, they just get this. But we get to sort of, our age and a little older, and we're not as used to it. We're not as comfortable. It's not something we've grown up with. But why is it so essential? Why should we not be avoiding this?
Yeah. So the way that I see it is video is like, it's a supercharged touch point, right? So, in marketing, there's the touch points, isn't there? And video sort of brings you to life that bit more. So I say it's sort of like three times a photo or a written copy or something like that. And if you're actually talking to camera, what you're doing is you're allowing, you're kind of fast tracking that know, like, and trust, which is the ultimate goal, really, isn't it, for any brand, whether be it personal or a business. It's that know, like, and trust, and video really allows you to do that. I mean, for example, Vanessa, as we know, is that she is great on video on LinkedIn, and that has allowed me to feel like I've met Vanessa and we've had a conversation already. We never have, but as soon as we were on the call together just now, I just felt like I'd done this before with her. So
you're right, because I've seen you on video as well. and we follow each other for a while, I feel like I know you. And I think this is the thing, isn't it, with video? Like you say, it accelerates that, and it creates that emotional connection that you can't get from a text. You can get some kind of emotional connection to a photo of a smiley face where you can see somebody's eyes. Do you know what I mean? If you're really too shy of video, then selfies, I know people hate the term selfie, but selfies do work. But video, it's just so much more powerful.
Yeah, we've got some comments come in, haven't we, Vanessa?
We have, yeah. So Katie says hello. She's looking forward to listening to it all. Danny says what annoys him about video is inconsistent content, different fonts, colours, etc., with no cohesion. Which I'll have to update mine now.
I'm now feeling really guilty because mine's just getting there. But yeah, there was no consistency at all. But it's kind of you just starting out, just doing it. People think they've got to be perfect and that can put them off. But actually what we want to do is just go and try it, get on with it and start getting used to it and then get better at it. Just get out there.
Yeah, it's better to start and do something than do nothing, and then evolve your something as you go. You can always improve. So there's nothing wrong with improving.
So Danny says, also, video creation is not just visual, it can change emotion. Here's a great example to watch later. And he's put a link in there. And both videos have identical content, words, music, length. And it's Lewis Capaldi's Someone You Love. The first video is the original. It's good. I'm going to have to hide it to see it. Oh gosh, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it says the first video for a breakup song. The second has a different premise, and if you're not seeing it, get a tissue. That's the power of video, emotional connection with your audience. It absolutely is. And I was thinking back to my training days when I was doing a lot of training live with people. I would break up all of my training sessions with videos, and you'd leave them with a very powerful video or song, and they do it in conferences as well, don't they, Amy? Where you walk into a real empowering song, and that sticks in your head. And every time someone talks to you about that conference, the song is, and it has that emotion.
Music is so powerful. And when I'm editing, sometimes I just spend hours choosing the music, because as Danny has said, there are things you can have exactly the same video and just change sort of things such as the music in it, and it just has a different kind of, or creates a different emotion. So music is hugely powerful.
Do you think in business video, like for LinkedIn videos and things like that, are you kind of an advocate then of using some music in the background, or is that more for kind of personal things? And what's your view on that?
I think I'm all for anything, to be honest. As we've already said, I think just getting out there and just creating something. I think music, a bit of background mute. To be honest, let's face it, a lot of videos are watched on mute. I think it's about 80% of videos on social media are watched on mute anyway. So I don't think music is essential for that kind of thing. But having said that, sorry.
Well, captions are, because of that point.
Captions are, yes. We must optimize our videos. Yes, captioning is essential. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Sorry, I interrupted.
So music is good, but not necessarily here. So how do your customers, your clients, use it really effectively, and what impact does it have on their business?
What's that? Video?
Yeah, how you help music? How do you? I mean, obviously your job is to create the videos with them, and it must help them get more business.
Yeah, absolutely. What it's doing, it's creating sort of bringing more of a mix into the output on social media or on their website or whatever. It's sort of mixing it up a bit. It's giving their online audience a bit of variety and allowing them to make video. It builds that deeper connection. It's allowing them to understand a bit more about it. You're getting audio if you have got music, if it's more of a sort of commercial, not commercial, but a sort of more of a business brand video, and you've got that music, that tells you a bit about the business. You can bring graphics in there, you can do all sorts of things, and it really allows to get the brand personality across. So it's helping them to keep their audience engaged. It's helping them to grow their audience and just ultimately, bringing them in more clients, hopefully.
Yeah, and there's something. I started a course last week actually, and this is just ringing bells in my head about what the course leader was saying, which is about you don't want to your target market needs to know who they are, and your videos can really help attract exactly the right people. They talk about it like a dog whistle. You're blowing a dog whistle for a certain dog to come back to you. Not that I'm calling clients dogs, that's not what I mean, but the point is you want to send your message out to people so they tune in. So the music that you use, the words that you use, the way you show up on video, that's all got to be really carefully done to make sure you're only attracting your dog. I don't know.
It's important to think about that targeting, isn't it? Because, while a lot of people, I think, start considering doing video thinking, oh, people are going to judge me. Not everybody's going to like me, or not everybody's going to like what I'm going to say. That is 100% the point.
Yeah,
not that you should be purposely divisive. That's not the point. But, how do you think about messaging, Amy? How do you recommend people work on that sort of a message to start?
Yeah, I mean, I really wouldn't worry about, sort of putting people off, because as you've said, that is really what it's about. It's about it's speeding up that process of somebody being able to make a decision about you, isn't it? I mean, somebody might watch you and they might think, my God, she's not for me. And that's fine, because they probably would have done that, but just further down the line, So it's actually just speeding up that process. And it is really important to think about your messaging. It's really important that your videos are created kind of on brand, and that you're thinking about thinking about your content. Do you plan your content? Don't just kind of go on and waffle on and, about what you've had for breakfast or whatever.
And yet some people are making a fortune out of that. And this is where I get slightly annoyed, is some people are now influenced with absolutely no skill other than they show up and talk about their breakfast, their lunch, their dinner, what they're wearing, where they're going. And they've got a whole load of people following them, and they become influencers and become incredibly successful. I'm not jealous at all. But it does make you wonder, people who've actually got a skill and a business, they really struggle to get this following, because they're doing something that's business related. Whereas if we do something really benign and banal, God, I'm being really rude. You can just grow your following and become utterly famous, and then you get loads of money for doing that.
Yeah, I think there's a balance, isn't there? And actually, Vanessa, I think you get that right balance, because I love the videos that you make, because they're not so, you can see you have thought about what you're going to say. You don't just kind of tell us about your breakfast. You come on, but you're doing it in such a relaxed, natural kind of way. But there is some value to the video, and that's the thing, is making sure that there's some sort of value to it, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I wasn't suggesting that Vanessa's were. Vanessa's have always got a key. I mean, sometimes I'm walking or doing something on mine, but there's always a point to it. But I'm just saying, a lot of people get very famous for not even having a point. So don't not do it. Just do it anyway. And I love Ashley. Ashley's comment. Yeah, brand flakes today. I'm going to follow you, Ashley, because you have brand flakes.
Danny had a good point about music as well, about the importance in branding.
Now you see, well done you, because I didn't know what Skrillex was. So
it's a heavy metal band.
It's not for the
like
over
thrash
60s.
metal band.
Well,
although it would be amusing if they used them in their adverts, do like a gray-haired rocker advert. That'd be pretty cool.
And Waggy's just put a comment in as well.
He said, I'm instant message packed agreement between the right people using the 5 senses. So some people impact visually and imaginative. Podcast using their hearing better and also imaginative feeling. That's right. People, and I think that's a key point, isn't it? That different people like different kinds of media. And so if you're not using video, you're missing out on a certain tranche of your ideal customer base. So I think video has got to be one slice of your content. you know, amongst others. So I suppose, Amy, how can people who've never done video, I mean, I could go on and on about it because I love it now. And when somebody first mentioned to me as part of my job search, would I ever put a video on LinkedIn? My first reaction was absolutely no, I could never be that vain. And now I've probably done about 60 videos on LinkedIn.
Now you are so vain. I bet you think this song is about you.
But I think the way that you do it is good. And this is the thing for people who are, you know, slightly like 95% of the population who don't want to do video. If you start kind of getting your ring light and getting a little sort of setup going, that can be quite intimidating because it's like almost like a mini studio. You know, you've got your phone on a little mini tripod or whatever, or you're using, you know, on your desk, your computer. But Vanessa, like yours, you like to get out and about, don't you? And you're literally just walking along holding your phone, and that actually makes it, I think it makes it a bit easier when I've done that.
Falling over.
But that's because I'm used to being on the other side of the camera, you see. But what it does is it makes you come across much more naturally, because a lot of the time, if you're looking at a lens, unless you're used to it, and you can get used to it. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it anymore. I did when I first did my first few videos. But if you're scared of doing that, you're not going to come across in an authentic manner, and people won't be able to connect to the real you. Whereas if, like Vanessa, you know, you're just walking along in the woods or along, you know, in the countryside, walking the dogs, and you've got your thought of the day planned, and you're just sharing that. I think that's a brilliant way to start, because you will come across naturally. It won't feel like a really intimidating thing to do. So yeah, I'd say that's probably a good start for people.
Yeah. What other tips have you got then? Because you were going to be very kind and share us top tips on, if you've not done it before, or maybe if you're already doing it, how to do it better. What would you say to help us do it better, or to at least start?
To start, okay, so planning your content, as I've already said, that's really, really important. You know, thinking about where your video is going to be posted, because if you're posting a video on Instagram, the content is possibly going to be a bit different to if you're posting on LinkedIn. And also there's other things that might vary from platform to platform, such as how long is the video going to be? You know, somebody's going to spend a lot more time watching a video on YouTube than they would on Instagram again. Or so you've got to think about the duration. You know, for social media, you know, do keep it fairly short.
Well,
I mean,
what's the attention span? I've been told it's sort of like a minute and a half max.
I would say max a minute and a half. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, I'd say it used to be longer than that, but I think because more people are doing it now, and we're just flicking through that feed much more quickly, I'd say aim for a minute. And keep it under a minute and a half. Definitely.
I think it's good to aim for. I think they say with LinkedIn as well, you've got kind of 3 seconds to catch the attention. But I think if your content's good, if you've hooked them with a good story, and they want to find out at the ending, or if you've got real value to share, then
they might stay.
Past the 1 minute, they will stay. But I mean, it depends on the channel, as you were saying. It's what people expect. Yeah. People don't expect a 20-minute video on LinkedIn. No. They expect to be scrolling a feed. And so it's working to expectations as well.
Yeah.
And you're right, you've got to have that hook. It's just like written copy, you know, your headline, you've got to have that written hook, haven't you, when you're writing. You've got to come straight in with the good stuff. Don't hold the good stuff till the end.
Yeah. Kim was saying when she first started video, she had a girlfriend video her, so she didn't have the added pressure of holding it up. And it took 3 hours to take the first 90-second video.
And that's a lot to do with, I remember when COVID happened, I'd never done anything on video before. I was used to standing up in front of a load of people and presenting or teaching or training, but I'd never done anything to camera. And I thought, I'm going to do, this is when I just took the book Good to Great, and I thought, I'm just going to practice being in front of the camera and talk about what I've learned from each chapter. You've got the book there behind you. Well done. It's a great book. I mean, I've kept the videos on YouTube because they remind me how far I've come. I was terrified They literally like 5-minute chunks, but I was absolutely terrified. But the reason I was terrified, I was thinking more about what are people going to think rather than what can I do to help them. So the mindset shift is now, if I do a video, this is going to help you. I might look odd while I'm doing it. I might say a weird word, but that's not the point. The point is, can I help you? And take the intent to a very different, it's just a different place, isn't it? Whereas it was very much, oh no, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Am I wearing the right clothes? I was wearing that yesterday. I can't wear that today. So I look back on those with fond memories.
Yeah,
so
I've heard.
What are the other tips?
Other tips, yeah. So duration, also orientation. You know, somebody already mentioned that they don't like portrait videos, and actually that's really interesting because I know that they're standard on like it's Instagram stories and TikTok, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Anyway. So portrait is standard on some platforms. However, I really don't like watching portrait videos. And the reason, and I think most people prefer landscape, and the reason is our eyes are built in landscape. Have you ever seen a portrait cinema screen or a portrait TV? No, because it's just not comfortable viewing. And I think it works on stories and TikTok and whatever, because they're very short. They're all about 30 seconds, keeping it really short. But if you try to watch portrait video for quite a while, it becomes quite uncomfortable, and you've got much more of a tendency to just go. So always think about that and try and film in landscape if you can. I would say.
Interesting.
And then the subtitles have already been mentioned. Absolutely vital. Absolutely.
What was that, Amy? Sorry.
Subtitles. Yeah.
And how do you get subtitles then? Can you just switch them on certain? So on LinkedIn, can you just have them switched on or not? Do you have to have an app or something?
I think you have to upload. You either have to have them burned in to the video. So there are.
There's fire involved. I'm interested. Excellent.
That just means so they're embedded. Let's use the word embedded. Embedded.
Talk to me like I'm really thick. That will really help me. Carry on. Yes.
And there's platforms you can do that with. Like there's I use rev.com a lot in my editing. There's rev.com. It's great. It's not the cheapest way to do it, but it's done by humans rather than AI. So in my professional editing, I've got to make sure that it's all perfect. You can, the platforms, I mean, Facebook, YouTube, they do auto captioning, which isn't correct all of the time, but you know what's come a long way over the last 2 years. I can tell you that AI has improved drastically, which is great. Or you can create, if you're very clever, for LinkedIn, you can upload an SRT file. And you can actually create.
Sorry, Amy. Bear in mind, I didn't have a clue what you meant by burning.
Sorry,
SRT, sugar-related trembles. I don't know. Could be anything. Help me.
SRT is just a type of file where it's uploaded simultaneously to your video, and the platform then puts the subtitles from the SRT. It overlays them.
Sounds like magic, Amy.
It is magic. And you can create an SRT file quite easily by uploading your video to YouTube and then downloading the SRT file. There you go. Easy peasy.
When you say you can just download an SRT file easily, I then look at myself in the camera and think, you can't, dear. But that's my self-limiting belief at play.
It's like you can't yet.
I can't yet. Well done. Thank you, Melinda.
That important word.
So a few comments.
We've got a few comments come in, yes.
Yeah, so Danny says there's lots of little things that can make your videos look more professional. Landscape, good lighting from the front. Don't stand in front of a light source. Exactly. Camera at eye level, not up your nose, not looking down. There you go. And camera on a fixed platform, not on shaky hands, and plan your content.
Can I just, he's saying don't stand in front of a light source window. He means don't have your back to the light source. Have your.
Then you just disappear, don't you?
Yeah.
I find that really interesting when you go onto Zoom meetings and they've got the window behind them and all you can see is this image. You're like, it could be Darth Vader. I don't know who you are.
Can I just vent a little minute now? Just because this whole idea about being scared of doing video. We've had 2 years of Zoom and Teams meetings. If you're not used to looking into a camera, and also, we're still having meetings with people sat in front of windows, looking up people's noses, people really fuzzy. if your camera on your computer isn't very good, buy one. They're about 50 quid or less probably. But, you know, we've had 2 years to practice at this now. That's it.
Well, I'm with you, and I think there's a lot of excuses, and there's quite a few people that are wanting to go back to the old. But you're absolutely right. What does that mean, witness protection? What's he on about?
It looks like one of those, you know, when you have those interviews with someone in the witness protection program,
Oh, I
all like
see.
a
Yes,
shadow,
yeah.
and you just hear like wah, 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 as the voice. Yeah.
Brilliant. So what else is it? We've had so much from you. What else do we need to know? What else, or what else should we be really careful about? Is there anything left on the list of things that you think actually you should know this, or don't do that, people? It's insane.
Yeah, it's just really. I think we've covered most of it, to be honest. As Danny said, I think it was Danny, about, you know, your lighting, making sure that the camera, whatever you're using, your computer, your phone, is stable. You know, if you have to get a tripod, use a tripod, or if you have to buy a webcam, as Vanessa said, buy a webcam.
Yeah.
But yeah, just sort of getting those basic things right, and just your composition, as I said before, you should be filling the frame, you know, not being teeny tiny, not being back here. You know, you just want a little bit of space above your head, and own that space, essentially, because you're trying to connect to people.
I'm trying to fill my space now.
I was wondering, I heard something, and I don't know if this is true, and maybe Amy, you can qualify it, that in that first 3 seconds when you're trying to get people's attention, the best way to do it is with some motion, as opposed to, like, if you're just a talking head, that's one thing, but they were saying, you know, like, say, you know, pivot or something, or if you're outside, say, oh, I'm in the forest, like Vanessa does.
You'll notice a lot of it. You might notice this on like Facebook ads and stuff now. What you'll see is that people do the walk and talk as the first shot. So they'll be walking along for those first few seconds, and then they'll switch scene where they might be seated and then do the talking head bit. And it's absolutely right. And another way is using a prop. Bring a prop in straight away, something weird and wonderful to catch people's attention.
I just think Vanessa isn't just the queen of the value proposition; she is the queen of props. She's usually props.
Any prop today.
I saw something which I think someone had learned this, that you should do something that's active and attract people's attention. And I'm going to just this is me in motion. And so the video was going, and they just went, "Hi and welcome to the," and I was like, no, you've totally missed the point.
That's too
so fake. So yeah, just be a little bit careful. Learn the skills, but think about them a bit carefully, because that just looked terrible. It actually made me laugh out loud. It wasn't supposed to be funny, but it made me laugh. And then you think, I'm not sure about you anymore.
One other top tip that I would say is outtakes, because we all have them, let's face it.
Oh yes.
And people love a bloopers reel. I've got my highest engagement through my bloopers reels, because it just turns you into a real person. People can see you know, you don't care, you're not bothered, you're a real person. Here you're making them laugh. It's a great thing to have. So do keep your bloopers. And post
I saw a hilarious blooper one that somebody on my LinkedIn feed had published last week, where these girls were trying to say, oh, buy my course and you can live like me and have all of these exotic cars.
I saw that.
And they're like in a garage with a couple Lamborghinis and a Ferrari or something. And suddenly the owner of the garage is like, hey, what are you doing in my garage? And they're like, oh, no. Running away.
I'm skeptical of those. I think they're fake.
Like,
I think that one was fake, but his point was, don't bullshit. You know, just be real, and it was a very good. It made me laugh.
Danny says it reminds him of the David Cameron. Hi, you've just caught me making breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely horrible, absolutely horrible. So, people out there at the moment that are listening in or watching in, what are your takes on this? Takes on this.
I would say, you know, I think as I said, when somebody suggested it to me, it was a guy in recruitment who was saying, you know, why would you ever consider it? And I said, absolutely not. And then I thought about it, and then I did it. And like you said, you can cringe at your first ones, but it's only by doing it that you will get better. It's only by doing it that you learn what people like and what they don't like. And so I would say just do it. And in your first one, I would say just point your camera at you, say what your name is, what you do, and what you're looking for, or what help you need. And it could be 20 seconds, but just post it.
So you're talking about
in that ice, you know, you're good to go. I say
you're talking about for job seekers, because actually
anyone.
For anyone, okay. But I think especially for job seekers, because I mean, what a great thing to do if a recruiter's looking around and they go, oh, I really like what I'm hearing. It's not even what I'm hearing, it's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's
because part of liking is knowing that we've got some sort of mutual way to communicate. But then I would just be very careful is that you are communicating effectively to any recruiter, not just in your style. So if you're a massive expressive, you don't just, unless you want to be recruited by a team of massive expressives and that's all they do, which actually would be a nightmare. I am one, I know that for sure. You know, you don't want to be like, hi, it's me. You know, you've got to be using all sorts of styles. So learn about communication styles, learn about how to influence people. Just, you know, use everything you've got. But really, as Vanessa says, just start. You're not going to please everybody. Some people will tell you this isn't Facebook. Thank you to that comment last week. He removed it. Don't know why. But you know, it's just crack on. Yeah, get on with it.
I like this from Danny. Yeah. You've got 3 options. Don't do it and shy away, hide away so nobody can see you. Have a go. And then hire Amy.
Hire Amy. That's how we end today. It's hire Amy. How much did you pay Danny to say that? How much do we need to pay him?
Well, Amy, we should say, because we didn't actually say, I don't think at the beginning, that if people are shy about going on video and they want that help because they're not confident in doing it themselves, they can come to you for help, can't they?
They can indeed come to me for help. Yes,
Haven't you got a course at the moment or a program?
Yes.
What's the program about then? What do you do on that?
So the program is all about taking people through the journey of creating video for LinkedIn, from content planning. So you get a session with a content you get an online workshop first to kickstart the whole thing off. Okay. You get a session with Jess, our content strategist, and then you come to the studio in London, and we create a series of 8 videos which have been carefully planned, and they're filmed interview style, so you don't even have to look at the camera. It's filmed interview style, which means you come across very authentically. And then they're all professionally edited, subtitled, and
burnt in, Amy.
Burnt in, Sarah. All ready for you to post on LinkedIn. So and anywhere else you like. You know, people put them on their websites and stuff too. But it's just an easy way of creating a little collection of videos.
Yeah, so I guess if you've got a specific, if you're doing a specific campaign for something, it's really important, and you've never done it before. I mean, people go, oh, yeah, but it costs money. Well, I'm sorry, if you want to do it properly, spend money with an expert to do it properly, or it will look a little bit crap and you'll miss your campaign gold opportunity. So it's not even a bet. This is, you know, you put your money where you need it to be. Don't spend hours doing it yourself, because you'll speed it up. That's the other thing. We think we can do it fast on our own. We can't.
Yeah,
it takes us hours and hours. So use the experts, but yeah.
And we've got just 1 minute left. It always goes so fast. Is there anything, Amy, that you want to share with the group as far as top tips or anything else?
Yeah. Can I speak about video on LinkedIn very quickly?
Yes.
So I wanted to share the 7 ways you can use video on LinkedIn, but if I've only got a minute, I'm going to share the one that's most important.
Yes.
Indirect messaging. On the mobile app, there is a video button where you can create a video and send it as a message. So you don't have to create a video externally and link it in and all of that. And it is so powerful to send somebody a personalized video message than sending them a little written message.
I had no clue.
Yes.
So I knew you could do a voice one.
This.
I knew you could do a voice one, which I thought that was very clever. But you can do a video.
You can do a video straight in the end.
All my clients are going to get little videos of Sarah every day. How are you? They'll love it. No, they won't. But never mind. That's genius.
In that top corner, when I've got Ashley up because I was messaging Ashley Leeds earlier. He's gone now for his lunch date. But yeah, up in that top corner there's that little video icon.
Awesome. That is a top tip. Thanks, Amy.
That's highly underused feature.
Oh, let Adam's in. Oh, can I just say to Adam, because they were on last week, I've been drinking loads of water and eating really much better, and I feel better. That was just after a session with them. I mean, they were just here on this. So yeah, brilliant stuff, Adam. Loved it. Thank you to both you and your lovely wife.
Thank you so much to Amy Burnett for joining us today. Do follow her on all of the major platforms, including LinkedIn, and follow the rest of us if you're not as well, for lots of top content, top tips, and all for
hula hooping videos.
Yeah.
On for a while, actually.
And if anybody, just a reminder, if anybody wants some more help from Amy, she and her organization are ready and willing to help you make the best videos ever.
Awesome. Just one thing to say is we are not on next week because it's bank holiday and we're having a week off, but we'll be back the week after. And if I am correct, it is Danny Atias that is joining us the week after, who is an amazing CFO who's going to be talking to us about human-centered leadership and sharing his thoughts on how to help bring people along the ride with you rather than forcing them to do things, which is everything that I love and talk about. So can't wait to get Danny on. Really chuffed to have him on the show. But Amy, you've been amazing. So much help. I've written loads again.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And just good luck with everything that you do, and look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn. And thank you everybody for coming and joining us today. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Have a great Easter for those who celebrate.
Yeah, happy Easter.
Yeah.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.